All right, so in this video right here, man, North America's worst disaster of all time is happening. So we're going to check it out now. Listen, man, a lot of these videos we want to check out, it's encouragement for us to start taking care of this planet, man. You know what I mean? Doing our part of what we can do. You know, some of this stuff is just unavoidable. It is going to happen. It may not happen in our lifetime, but it's just doomed to happen. But the other things that we can try to help control, we got to do better. And of course, I'm always including myself in that because I got to do better. And you know what I mean? Taking care of the planet is one of those things, man, especially if we want to inhabit here for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into this video. If you're new, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, join the family, and let's check this out.
Is another global extinction on the horizon? Nature is being destroyed by human activities at a never-before-seen rate. The results are now being felt by us in the form of a potential sixth mass extinction. Heat waves, hurricanes, and flooding are all growing more dangerous. Droughts, pest infestations, and wildfires are all getting worse. Rising sea levels put coastal populations and ecosystems in jeopardy. And that's only the beginning. North America is poised to experience its worst calamity. Are we experiencing the sixth?
We were talking about the moon shifting, which would in return cause the flooding. In the last video we checked out, we was talking about Yellowstone, how the earthquakes and different things can cause the eruptions of the volcanoes and stuff like that. You know, again, some of this stuff we can't control, but other things we can try to do our part. You know what I mean? But some of this stuff like the flooding, dealing with the moon, ain't much you can do that. Try to push inland a little bit more, but they're gonna increase.
To experience its worst calamity. Are we experiencing the sixth great extinction? Do we have a chance to avert the catastrophe, or are we doomed? Join us as we explore North America's worst disaster of all time that is about to happen. Animals and plants exterminate themselves on a regular basis. It's a fact of existence. All the species that have ever lived on Earth, roughly 98% of them, have now gone extinct. When a species disappears, new species or other existing species usually step in to fill its ecological niche. It's commonly believed that between 0.1 and 1 species per 10,000 species per 100 years is Earth's normal extinction rate.
Wow.
The background rate of extinction is what is meant by this. A mass extinction event occurs when a species disappears far more quickly than it is replaced. This is typically understood as the loss of around 75% of all species over a short period of geological time, or fewer than 2.8 million years.
So in the terms of species, then basically what you're saying is we're, or you said it already, we're on a cycle when it comes to them. It's just inevitable. Again, using that again, it's inevitable. This is a cycle when it comes to them. That I've never heard of.
Geological time, or fewer than 2.8 million years. It's challenging to pinpoint the beginning and finish of a catastrophic extinction. To determine if we are currently experiencing a sixth one, it is frequently based on the 5 major episodes that we are aware of when extinction rates were significantly greater than the background rate. In the Ordovician Silurian mass extinction, which happened 443 million years ago, 85% of all species perished. Sea levels substantially dropped as a result of temperatures sharply dropping and massive glaciers growing, according to scientists. A period of fast warming followed this. Numerous tiny sea animals perished. 3/4 of the world's species perished during the Devonian mass extinction event, which occurred 374 million years ago. The majority of these species were marine invertebrates that lived at the bottom of the ocean. Environmental changes throughout this time included global warming and cooling, a rise and fall in sea levels, and a decrease in the amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. The precise cause of the extinction catastrophe is unknown. The largest and most catastrophic of the 5 events occurred 250 million years ago and is known as the Permian mass extinction. more than 95% of all species, including the majority of the vertebrates that had started to evolve by this point, were wiped off during this event, also known as the Great Dying. Some scientists believe that Earth was struck by a sizable asteroid which released dust particles into the atmosphere, obstructing the sun and causing acid rain. Others believe that
and that's what I keep saying about Yellowstone. Its potential. It erupting can do the same thing that happened, the same effects that happened when that asteroid hit and it blocked off the sunlight and it changed our temperature and a lot of the animals and plants and life started to die off. That's the same thing that can happen. That's why I paid attention to that Joker so much.
Atmosphere, obstructing the sun and causing acid rain. Others believe that a significant volcanic eruption caused the waters to become poisonous and produced more carbon dioxide. At the time of the Triassic mass extinction event, which occurred 200 million years ago, 80% of the Earth's species perished, including several different kinds of dinosaurs. Massive geological activity that raised carbon dioxide levels, raised global temperatures, and induced ocean acidification are likely to blame for this. 78% of all species perished during the Cretaceous mass extinction event, which happened 66 million years ago, and included the last of the non-avian dinosaurs. The Earth was most likely struck by an asteroid in what is now Mexico, and ongoing flood volcanism in what is now India may have contributed to this. Are we experiencing the 6th mass extinction?
Are we?
Our Earth is undergoing significant changes, including catastrophic weather events like flooding, droughts, and wildfires. With 18 catastrophic disasters wreaking devastation across the nation as planet heating emissions continue to rise, the US had a particularly trying year as communities battled the mounting effects of the climate crisis. According to recent US government data, weather-related damages to the US totaled $165 billion last year, $10 billion more than in 2021, and the third most expensive year since big loss records began in 1980.
Wow.
In terms of the number of catastrophic events, 2022 just slightly lagged behind 2020 and 2021, with 18 disasters resulting in at least $1 billion of damages. The yearly report indicated that 474 people lost their lives last year as a result of these significant disasters. The US has been experiencing a trend for years with a lot of disasters. Over 5,000 people have died and over $1 trillion in damages have been generated as a result of 122 different billion-dollar weather and climate catastrophes that have occurred since 2016. The US is experiencing longer, more intense wildfire seasons, catastrophic rainfall events, and the kind of enormous Category 4 and 5 storms that NOAA has never before recorded in its historical record, which...
Like California right now, that historic winter storm that's going on there right now. Like, who would have ever thought they'd see that coming? They didn't. You know what I mean? What happened in Texas last year. Like, we're seeing a lot more of it, like he's saying. So you could probably... You hear it, and then you can go back in your mind and relate it to some of the things that you've seen go on and take place, and you're like, wow, I didn't think I'd ever see that happen there or here.
Storms that NOAA has never before recorded in its historical record, which dates back to 1851, among other trends of climate-enhanced disasters. While floods and wildfires have always occurred in the US, scientists have discovered time and time again that global warming is amplifying these events by causing more intense bursts of rainfall from a warming, moisture-laden atmosphere and by drying out tinderbox-like vegetation in places like California. Although the number of wildfires and acres burned were greater than the 10-year norm, analysts think the season could have been worse despite the gloomy season forecast for 2022. Unexpected rainy weather reduced the severity of the fire seasons in Alaska and New Mexico. Resource accessibility in California was important, but so were the constantly favorable weather conditions. However, overall, fire seasons are becoming worse due to climate change. Forests are dried up by extreme drought and warming temperatures, which continue to be the main causes of an increase in fire weather.
Does that not do nothing? The fact that we have a fire season, does that not blow your mind and make you go, are you kidding me? Like, we have a fire season. We look towards, okay, this time of the year, this is fire season. We need to prepare for this and know that it's coming. Like, that's just crazy to even fathom to me.
Temperatures, which continue to be the main causes of an increase in fire weather. The US Drought Monitor reports that extreme weather is more prevalent than it has been in at least 20 years, increasing the likelihood of huge destructive fires. There is evidence that the climate crisis is also increasing the power of storms that strike the eastern states, such as Hurricane Ian, which struck Florida in September and became the deadliest storm to strike the US since Hurricane Katrina. According to NOAA, Ian was also the third most expensive hurricane ever, with $112.9 billion in economic losses. The expenditures of all types of extreme weather, such as heat, which was responsible for hundreds of fatalities in Phoenix, Arizona alone last year, are not included in the calculations.
Wow.
National and municipal governments
Why?
have made some progress in recent decades in terms of predicting hazardous conditions, evacuating people, and constructing more resilient infrastructure to withstand such shocks. The NOAA report, however, paints a picture of a situation in which the response to escalating disasters brought on by the climate crisis is falling short. There were only 18 days on average between billion-dollar disasters in the past 6 years, compared to 82 days in the 1980s. This has hampered the nation's capacity and resources to recover and prepare. With the passing of the Inflation Reduction Act, which will push at least $370 billion to ramp up renewable energy projects and encourage people to ditch gasoline-powered cars and polluting appliances at home, there was a glimmer of hope last summer that the US was beginning to confront the causes of the climate crisis. Yet the problem persists, with emissions that contribute to global warming in the US increasing by 1.3% from 2021 to now, according to recent data. The increase in emissions was mostly caused by an increase in the energy consumption of buildings and a rise in the consumption of jet fuel as air traffic continued to recover after the COVID-19 pandemic. If the world wants to prevent catastrophic climate impacts, emissions must be cut in half globally this decade and completely eliminated by 2050, according to scientists. The increase in 2022 was a little more positive, according to the Rhodium Group, the research firm that produced the new emissions estimates, than the resurgence in carbon pollution in 2021, which was bigger and also outpaced overall economic growth. It appears that 2023 will be a year of significantly greater carbon cuts, which will only pick up speed as the incentives begin to work. Ecosystems throughout the world are being threatened by invasive species, many of which are introduced by humans. Introduced species often degrade the quality of biodiversity in the area and compete with native species for resources, often leading to extinction. These are only a few of the terrible alterations brought on by people. The web of life on Earth is intricately woven. Over millions of years, this delicate balance has been developed. Numerous additional species are impacted when one species becomes extinct, placing several ecosystems in danger of extinction.
And you know, when I say it's always us, I'm referring to the ones that are doing it for the greed, who don't care about the environment, who don't care about the planet. It's just looking to line their pockets and make themselves wealthy. You know what I'm saying? And I get everybody's looking for financial security. Everybody's looking for life-changing, generational wealth, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But at the expense of what are we doing this for? Those that are coming up behind us, the next generation, you know what I'm saying? The things that they're going to have to deal with that we leave behind for them. Think about that part of it.
Extinction happens naturally over hundreds of thousands of years, allowing nature to gradually rebuild what has been lost. However, humans have accelerated this process at a risky rate. It is staggering that the present pace of extinction is between 100 and 1,000 times greater than the background rate of extinction prior to the emergence of humans. There is no doubt that we are experiencing the 6th mass extinction. Such devastation has never before been brought about by one race on Earth. Could a 6th mass extinction be avoided? Mass extinctions are a significant and intricate problem. They may develop slowly, taking millions of years. It appears that we are currently going through the 6th, which is unquestionably the product of human activity, particularly climate change. In 50 years, the floods and wildfires we currently hear about in the news will be common occurrences. They will put our structures, infrastructures, transatlantic connections, satellites, and more to the test, making what is arguably the largest multinational effort in history to limit human impacts is crucial for the future of our planet. Every one of us must actively participate in this, which necessitates a profound adjustment of our values, attitudes, and behaviors. Thanks for watching another episode of Voyager. While you're still here, make sure to click the video on your screen for more mind-blowing videos.
Now, I know some people are going to be like, it is what it is. I don't care. I'm going to live my life. It's unavoidable. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? We can't change them. For those of us who think that we can do something, let's do something. Whether you're spreading the word, you know what I mean? You're sharing the videos, you're watching the videos, you're talking to people about it. Those of you who can fix it in other ways, cool. Don't let the other ones that feel like it is what it is, we can't stop it, don't let them stop you. All right? Just keep it positive, you know? Can't change everyone's mind, and everybody has their own opinion, and we're not trying to change them. We're trying to do what we can do, you know? Accept the things that we can't change and then change the things that we can. All right? So, if you're new, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, join the fam, and y'all get at me till the next one. I'm gone. Peace.